Wanting to get something done and then not getting it done is one of the most frustrating experiences imaginable. When one part of you wants to get something done, but another part of you totally doesn't want to, it can feel like a no win situation. Either you force yourself to do the thing and you burn out in the process, or you don't do the thing and you don't get the results you want. Either way, you end up frustrated with yourself. The car honk method breaks this lose lose situation and gives you a path forward. Here's how it works. I want you to imagine that you're driving somewhere in your car, and suddenly you hear another car honk at you. Car honks are a pretty one note communication device. The person honking at you doesn't have a whole menu of sounds that they can choose from. It's one sound at one volume, and the most that they can do is choose how long they hold down the horn. And yet, you are capable of receiving a lot of different messages from the same honk. You can probably tell the difference between a friendly saying hi when driving past a friend honk versus an informative I just pulled up outside honk, or a cautionary watch out, I'm here honk, or a super angry what the heck are you doing honk. To drive safely and smoothly and get to your destination, you don't need to avoid cars honking at you at all costs. You actually just need to be able to interpret and deal with a variety of different car honks. And a good driver isn't someone who never gets honked at. A good driver is someone who can hear plenty of honks and just roll with them, knowing when they mean that they need to make an adjustment and when they should just ignore them and keep on going. And a bad driver isn't someone who gets honked at too much. A bad driver is someone who hears the slightest honk and then just immediately drives their car into a ditch. And a great driver might even enjoy navigating some tricky terrain with a lot of honks. There's a lot going on, lots of moving pieces, a cacophony of noises on all sides. That great driver might actually say, that sounds fun. Let's lock in and figure this out. Now, what does this have to do with getting things done? When you sit down to work on something, it's not just you who's working on it. There are actually two people sitting in that chair. It's you and your brain. Your automatic brain is your lifelong companion, co-pilot, and faithful best friend. And the two of you are basically running in a three-legged race together every single day of your life. When you sit down to work on something, chances are your brain is going to honk at you. Now, just like a car honk, your brain's honks can seem very one note. It can seem like the honk is always, pause, I don't want to do this. But just like how the same car honk sound can actually communicate a lot of different messages, your brain's one note, pause, I don't want to do this, can actually communicate a lot of different messages. It might be an insightful, wait, we need to do X before we do Y kind of honk. Or it might be an inquisitive, hang on, what are we solving for again kind of honk. Or it might be a tired, it's been a while, can we take a break kind of a honk. Or it might be a strident, hey, this doesn't align with our values kind of a honk. Or it might even be a panicky, I'm really afraid I'm going to screw this up kind of a honk. To get things done and stay in flow, you don't need to avoid your brain honking at you at all costs. You just need to be able to interpret and deal with a variety of different honks from your brain. And a productive person isn't someone who never hears any honks from their brain. It's not someone who never feels any resistance to working. A productive person is someone who can feel plenty of resistance and just roll with it, knowing when it means that they need to make some adjustments to what they're doing versus when it's just something they can ignore and keep on going. And on the other hand, an unproductive person isn't someone who hears too many honks from their brain or who feels too much resistance to working. An unproductive person who's someone who feels the slightest resistance, they hear the slightest honk, and they just immediately drive into a ditch and they stop working. And the people you admire the most, the person that you one day aspire to be, that person might even enjoy navigating some tricky terrain with a lot of honks and a lot of resistance. So here's what I want you to do next. This is the car honk method. The next time you're trying to get something done and your brain gives you a little honk and it says, pause, I don't want to do this. Stop and ask, what kind of honk is this? What is the message my brain is trying to send me? And what do I want to do with that message? Is it an insightful honk that I want to listen to and use to adjust my behavior? Is it baseless noise that I just want to ignore? Is it something in between? Is it something else entirely? These signals from your brain are never going to turn off. Your automatic brain will be sending you messages every second of every day for the rest of your life. And being in flow doesn't mean turning your brain off. Being in flow means moving in sync with your brain's signals. It means turning that three-legged race with you and your brain From a frustrating tug of war, like these two huskies that are fighting over the same toy, to a focused, synchronized sprint, like these two huskies that are running in the same direction and pulling the sled forward. And once you and your brain are in alignment, that is when you are unleashed. And if you're not feeling very unleashed right now, if you're feeling stuck or frustrated with where you are, it's not because there's something wrong with you or because you don't have the discipline or the capabilities to get to where you want to be. All it means is that you have an internal misalignment somewhere inside of you. And all we need to do is find it, fix it, and get you back to your full speed sprint. This is fundamentally what we do in coaching. We spot the misalignments that are holding you back, and we have a conversation with your brain to get everything straightened out and get you back on track. My course and coaching program lays out an exact blueprint for having effective and efficient conversations with your brain and finding alignment with yourself quickly and easily again and again. So you can stop wasting your time fighting with yourself and get back to doing your best work. Come talk to me to learn more about how my coaching program works. The link to book a free consult call is above.